Hey everybody and welcome to Band Night stream. We're gonna stream some artsy stuff, some art stuff. We're gonna make some art today. It's really exciting. We're gonna sculpt, retopologize, texture, all the good stuff. Let's see if we can make a project out of this. I've been scrolling through the subreddit Imaginary Horrors, and I kind of want to make something within the horror atmosphere, but maybe make it not scary. Who knows? I'm just gonna create something. I'm just gonna start sculpting or blocking out something, and we'll see. Oops. Let's bring the camera in here. I'm gonna create like an artwork or something. How's everybody doing, by the way? I'm gonna put on some music. Also have to whoops. Check here. There we go. Share the stream on the Discord. If you want to join the Discord, the link is down in the description normally. All right, we can go. We can go. I kind of have an idea of what I want to do. I'm just gonna check if it works. Yeah, let's go with this. The idea is to kind of create two characters. A man and a woman. Although I might make two females, you know, go break some cliches. What am I doing? What am I drawing with the annotation tool? Remove them. I'm just gonna, because I already have a sketch here in my sketchpad, but I'm just gonna start blocking out. So I'm gonna work a little bit with shapes. And what I mean with that is I'm gonna try to I'm gonna block out it's a little bit smaller. Just like blocking out now, kind of in 2D with some building blocks. I'm just checking where my elements should go. It's an important part, blocking this out. So for the other one, I'm gonna make I can already kind of see. Like this. This is a very crude 3D sketch. It's gonna help me define some of these features here and some of the poses, and then check out the aspect ratio and everything. I'm gonna keep the camera where it is. Yeah, select it. Although, okay, let's turn on some composition guides. They put all the way down here. No, I want thirds, even golden ratio. Yeah. That seems weird. That seems right. Yeah. Maybe just where's my diagonals? Cool. Okay. Another sphere here. It's gonna be a little bit more of a silent stream, but if you have questions, do put them in the comment section. There we go. It's a little bit of ambience. I'm gonna turn on my topo for a second here. Come on. Just so I can. Just creating 2D shapes now. I'm not making something too permanent. Just trying to figure out where certain elements should be, right? And then we can start from there to kind of build our scene. Hey Moroccan Music, I am good and I am safe for now. No, I'm good. How are you doing? Hope you guys are safe out there. It's not so you can see what I'm kind of creating at the moment. This very very basic, but I think this looks a bit weird. Okay, so let's put some arms in there. Let's create some cylinders. No, but thanks for asking, man. Appreciate it. They're tough times. Look up some poses. Really quickly gonna so if I rotate it, it rotates around the joint. Just gonna place this correctly. Oops. Yeah, I'm already gonna save. Just gonna call this. What am I gonna call this? 2020. We are the 7th of April already. Damn, it's getting warmer as well. Like it's been 20 degrees outside Celsius. I have no idea how I'm gonna. That's wrong. I did something. Oh no. Sure, I'm just gonna call this piece. Okay. This could be a little bit shorter. Not too bothered about where the floor is at the moment or what's happening. Just concerned about the where the pieces should go, right? I can fake some stuff here. let's have a clearer picture of where everything should go. Right? All right. And after we finish Harry Potter, we should watch Lord of the Rings again.
No.
Oh, come on! Where's my... I have nothing in my teeth today, have I?
No.
Good. Alright. So let's just copy these two, rotate them around, enlarge them a little bit. Make them a little bit. Let's see how this looks from a camera standpoint, right? Okay, now we can add a quick floor. This is how you sketch out a 3D scene, basically. This is still very rough, but even at the very rough, you can kind of already go to rendered view, and then I'm gonna add my lighting view here. Lochting. Ah, funny. I mean, this kind of roughness is not going to give me a lot to work with, sadly enough, but kind of move from here to starting to see, because the sooner you spot things you could change about the composition of stuff, and the better, of course. We don't want to have to repose arms or legs once we're like further in the picture. I think I could make it a little bit more interesting here. Yeah. I'm gonna give this a really quick material. Doesn't like block my view too much. Just go. There we go. Cool. Yeah, there's not too much to read about here, but this is the basic idea of what I have in mind. I think even make this a little bigger. Hey Rohit, I'm good. How are you doing? And hey Toxic 2, welcome back to the stream. How are you guys doing? Alright. So how are we gonna approach this? think like piece by piece. So we're just gonna make some collections here. Nope. I'm gonna first put these in a collection. Gonna call this set. And we're gonna disable it. Then I'm gonna grab what's supposed to become like a ghost girl thingy. I don't know. I'm looking at some reference, and I'm gonna do the guy first. It's gonna be a simple piece, not too realistic, like more stylized. But yeah, those things have gone out of. I might even like do a T-pose and pose them, because they won't be that hard. I don't know. Yeah, that might be a good idea for the guy. I'm sorry for yawning. I'm gonna call this Ghost Girl. Alright, and this is our guy, right? So now we need to kind of figure out his proportions don't seem to be completely correct. The legs are fine, I feel like. This is fine if I move them. I think the arms are too short as well. Yeah, something like this. Maybe make the waist a little bit skinnier. It is blocking out, so it makes sense, and then I can start sculpting. It's just simple shapes in life. Yeah, I can like ease my sculpting a little bit by starting to put some very basic shapes in there. Oh, let me really quickly. Something like this, yeah. No, then I can see a little bit better the size of everything. Not sculpting anything too specific at the moment. Something like this, yeah. Fine. So I'm just gonna start making something with the same proportions. Poof. I'm just gonna go into sculpt mode. Let's turn off the. Okay, I'm gonna rotate this way. So that's. I hate that they removed the tooltip thingy. So it's just 90 degrees. Okay, cool. Side view, object mode, sculpt mode. Hey Sebastian, thanks for streaming. No problem, man. Keeps me busy. Okay, so now we just want to make a rough with Dyne Topo on X mirror. That's all fine and dandy, and we're just gonna start blocking out the shape, right? Gonna need a little bit more detail here. I don't usually use Dyne Topo anymore, but for this purpose it kind of still makes sense. Okay, cool. And we have this kind of weird shape that we can start to clay up, right? gonna try to stay away from my bad habit of just dragging things around. The main goal here is just to get a basic feel for the shape here. Including clothes. I'm just gonna give him a shirt and pants, like casually fancy, you know. There we go. I'm not gonna bother too much with the thing yet. Cool. All right. Then I'm gonna make arms, and they're gonna be about. Let's see here. So the hand should go here. That's what. That seems about right. I can do this later. I'm doing details. I'm doing details I shouldn't be too worried about at the moment. Okay, so inflate. That seems about right. Cool. This looks like a very sloppy 3D scan, so I'm just gonna give this a new collection. I'm gonna call this Man Sculpt. Man Sculpt. That sounds awesome. And now we want to disable. This is the man block, I guess. Yeah, and now we want to sculpt this to a level where we can retopologize it and then have the further detail happen with a clean retopologized version. Okay. Do I want another matte cap? Did they remove matte caps? I like this one. It's my favorite one. Although they could have popped the brightness a little bit more. I feel like. No, that's fine. Cool. And now I want to, I want to drop the Dynatope. I want to go to remesh. So I don't have to like worry about losing or adding detail where I don't want it. Like from this point on, I don't usually use Dynatopo anymore. So let's just start blocking this out more. I'm gonna put on some other reference now. Character. I'm just gonna type in character and see what pops up. Something like this, but I need something more shaded. Sure. Something more detailed, perhaps. Something not fake. There's some good artists out there, but man, it's like have straight lines. Doing like 50 twirls and then making it look artsy. Just it's a style I don't like. I need to continue clicking here a bit, I think. Okay, that's better. Oh, that's a good reference. Okay, cool. My understanding of anatomy. Let's apply it a little bit. Okay, get a head in here. Just gonna get in the very basics. Just to get an idea of where everything should be. So gonna kind of rough out the skull here. I'm gonna quickly sculpt in the ear instead of something. I'm gonna add it. So let's go with cylinder. something like this. Sure. Just saying aloud out what I'm doing. Poof, poof. Just a little bit more like this. Oh boy, yeah. That was kind of weird for a second. Yeah, cool. Now I can gonna continue here. It's good for now. Although got my flatten brush here. Can make this a little bit. Pretty hefty skull here. Sure. Let's see here how we can do the neck area. Okay. See if we can get a good chest in here. Let's see, the elbows should be around here. Yes. Just drawing that a little bit. And here, the hands. That seems about right. And the knees here. Cool. Got more in this shape. Okay. So inflate this a little bit. Okay. Let's do a quick hand. The main thing I'm trying to do now is trying to get the proportions right, trying to see where goes what, and then like basically making the block out in sculpt mode. You can also model this if you feel more comfortable doing that. I feel like I have a little bit more affinity with the sculpting tools than with the modeling tools. Like if I have to extrude, like every time I model, I worry more about where my vertices are, even if I'm blocking out or making something rough. I will worry more about that than actual shapes. And I feel like sculpting Gives me a little bit more of an intuitive feel to that. Just drawing some shapes, checking everything is in the right position. He's a little bit off balance here, but I can put his feet a little bit more apart without giving him discal legs. There we go. I feel like his arms are a bit short. No, they're a bit long. Okay, cool. Not doing separate fingers at this point. I'm probably gonna import a hand from another project. Okay, I'm gonna define. I don't want to define too much muscles because he's gonna have clothes on, but I want to define them a little bit to kind of see where what connects to what, right? I do want to be a little bit, it makes sense, like the pecs being here and stuff. Doesn't have to be super muscular, but you know, if these things make sense, then everything else will make sense. Also emphasize that rectangular shape. I especially want to like keep the rectangular shape of the body and everything. Like especially like in the face. I guess I didn't think about it too much when I was doing this, but especially in the profile. Let's see here. Just get some like indication of where goes what. Just in the mouth. There we go. And then you can use that to way better check where is what and who is where. I said what. Oh no, we're not gonna finish it, so something like this, yeah, it looks good. Let me check the stream for a second. Hey Sebastian, you don't use Dynatopo anymore? I'm not into sculpting, but what's the new Dynatopo? Well, it's not a new dynamic topology because it's not dynamic topology. It's basically a remesher. They made a new remesher because you have the old one, but this one is voxel based. So if you just press remesh, you can check your voxel size, basically the density of your polys. So you can see this is pretty detailed, quote unquote. And then you can just remesh it. It's gonna take a while, and then and it's very handy because with Dynatopo you always have like performance issues and oh man, with the remesher it kind of goes a little bit quicker. But yeah, you still don't have like clean topology, and I kind of want to focus on that now. I want to make something very low poly and then kind of build on that to make like some details and edges and stuff. But I definitely want to make something pretty simplistic. I'm going to add a circle. I might just make that really quickly. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me remove that again. And another circle. And like for the legs, I'm going to go to 8 polys. And we're just going to subdivide it and then sculpt on the subdivision. Always fascinating to watch you sculpt. Thanks. And it looks fun. I wouldn't know what to do besides practicing. Yeah, that's basically what I'm doing at the moment. I'm practicing. Yeah, no problem, man. I'm here to explain. So I'm not going to fudge too much about topology for animation because I don't want to animate this character. I just want to have a clean topology. So basically what I'm going to do, because there's people who retopologize later, like they go way more in detail. But I kind of want to sculpt on a clean topology, so I want to try it out. Because normally I also wait a lot longer and go way more into detail. Yeah. Okay, so there should be a X-ray. Yeah, so that's gonna help me to see the topology clearly. And I have a shrink wrap modifier on, and I'm also gonna add a mirror modifier, although that's not really necessary at this point. And then I'm just gonna I'm gonna worry about this later. So I don't want to waste. Oh man, I wish there was a way I could see both. I'll quickly switch in between them. So I'm gonna do this very crudely at the moment. Something that helps is like copying and applying the shrink wrap, and then you don't get like weird jagged lines. And then we can like relax this a bit. Whoops. Loop tools. If you don't have that option, enable loop tools in your preferences. Okay, cool. And then the simple thing I want to do is select perhaps these four. Sure. I can turn on the magnet here on the face, and then we just can like go to the midriff, go to the breast. Something like this. And then this starts to become a little bit more complex, where we can define. Okay, now I need that mirror. So I'm gonna mirror on this object, gonna put clipping on, and then normally if I go to the middle here, yeah. So okay. Just want to define the loops already a little bit, and then later on we can connect them and see what works and what doesn't. I'm again gonna copy and apply the shrink wrap. The most important part for me is at the moment to create squares. So as well here, right, I will like add enough loop cuts so these are as close as squares as they get, and at the same time not to add too many. So I can add our circle. Disable this clipping for a second. 8 is fine. Rotate this. Whoops. There we go. And get this somewhere around here. Turn this off for a moment. Oh, that was pretty close. Cool. Copy. Apply. Relax this a little bit. That's not working. Okay, why not? Copy. Okay, I'm gonna have to just manually. Come on, relax a little bit. Oh, that's because the arm is such a weird shape. Let's get this nice and on the elbow. Let's rotate this a little bit. Yeah, something goofy is going on. Okay, I'm gonna disable the shrink wrap for a second. Relax this. That's because it's making it way smaller. Okay, fine. And do the entire arm this way as well. Make sure everything stays a little bit consistent. Like the rotation. Cool. Add some extra loop cuts. And then just connect these up, I guess. See where that goes. I mean, I don't know, I see it like this. There's definitely some things we can adjust about the anatomy still, but we'll do that once we got the right loop cuts in there and stuff. Because we still need to model. Also, I'm trying to get a very basic shape going on here. This goes around here, and this should go around here, I guess. And then this goes to the whoops middle. It's also a bit experimental, this workflow, so don't shoot me. We'll not worry about loop cuts that don't make a lot of sense at the what am I saying? Gaps that we have to solve and topology, because like doing that doesn't make sense as long as it's not complete. 6 vertices, so that's 4, that's 10. That's fine. I'm not gonna think too hard about this. Okay, I'm gonna copy and apply the shrink wrap because this is doing funky stuff. I can relax this again a little bit. Bring it down here. What's going on? Do I want to mirror first? I guess I do. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do some very simple, because I don't like to do the shrink wrap routes for too long. So I'm just gonna crudely draw the the jawline here. Gonna go to the whoops. Let's see here. Go to the mouth. The mouth. Top of the nose. Top of the bridge. Let's just go. This shouldn't be. Any experienced modeler will now be looking like, what are you doing? I'm trying something out. So here, I'm gonna create another. Connect these for the mask. Connect these. Then I'm gonna go like this. I'm not gonna bother with the ear at the moment. It's a separate object anyway. Connect this like this. It seems it was correct. Okay, fine. Now I'm gonna go. So this is our man low. I'm gonna put a new collection, man low, and gonna turn off the X-ray. Now we can start like first finishing this up. Whoops, what happened here? Oh wait, it's hello clipping. Yes, okay, that's not a big issue. No. I want to connect these. This is still using the shrink wrap at the moment, which is fine. This is super low poly, by the way, and I know. Just trying to figure out what the best topology here is. Doesn't make a lot of sense, doesn't it? Kind of want to have a loop cut that goes around the neck because it's gonna make modeling of the shirt easier. So So definitely want this loop to be there. Can go around the neck, so that also makes sense. And then there we go. Alright. Was that how it was? Sneaky. Okay. I'm just gonna yeah, this is gonna be a little bit stretchy here, so I'm just gonna add another loop cut, make sure we have some extra squares here. Thing you can also do is quickly like subdivide it and then check. Okay, so something's off here. Here we go. Quickly check how the topology is gonna work once subdivided. I understand Remesh can't keep track of good animation loop cuts, I guess. What? Oh, good. Oh yeah, no. It looks at the mesh as a volume and then it just calculates where it should put polys. It should not be used once you're in the phase of making a character that is about to be animated. So I'm just gonna do this. I'm also gonna really quickly apply the shrink wrap once more. Oh wait, I shouldn't do this, yeah. So I do want to have this in front of the mirror. And then be confused about what's happening. Why is this not connecting? Hello? Global. It's at x0. So, and then the shrink wrap moves it to a point that's not x0. Okay, fine. First mirror. Let's just try ignore the rest. Cool. So this makes sense. This makes sense. This is gonna make a little bit less sense. Another loop cut. No, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make. So what are our options here? None. These are just 4 vertices. What am I doing? Okay, let's see here. This makes sense for the shoulder, I guess. Because our loop cut here makes sense as well. Yeah. Let's just finish the back and then really quickly put it on x0. Cool. I can add an extra loop cut here. That kind of makes sense. Because then this isn't that stretched. I can turn. Whoops! I can turn the a little bit down. I can bring this to like down here. That kind of makes a little bit more sense with the flow of the muscles. Okay. And then this just connects. That's nice. We have a good loop cut going from the arms over the shoulders. I like that. Poof, poof, poof. This is a bit messy at the moment. But I'm gonna clean it up. Easy peasy in a second here. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now what we could actually do here. So one thing resolves another. I'm gonna delete this face here. Wait. Okay, so this one. Oh no. Should probably, in the name of clean topology. There we go. There we go. So now this one goes all the way around here. So that's nice. That'll be, although at the same time, I kind of wanted to already have going around here. So I kind of want to not have this face. Or just merge these. Oh, hello, Alt M. No, M. Did that change? Okay, and this is all super stretched now, so let's remove that. Yeah, let's have this nicely go around here. That makes more sense. And then I still want to have this nice loop around. Okay, cool. Good topology is your friend, ladies and gentlemen. And then this is all just gonna make sense. Look at this. Oh yes, give me the dopamine. That is some sweet, sweet completion right there. I love it. So what I said earlier about like if you have this messy stuff and like you still have your shrink wrap, you can just go into sculpt mode and just smooth this out. And sure, it'll create like a seam here, but that's very easily fixed by just scaling to x0 on the road coordinates. Or maybe not, you know. Maybe you want to be. This should just go to x0 all the way around. X0, there you go. Yeah. Now we have like more even squares here. I mean, you could even apply the mirror to that. We'll do that later. And then just remove half of it again, but it's kind of like that doesn't make too much sense for me at this point. Okay, so let's figure out how the butt goes. What does the butt say? Okay, I'm just gonna add an extra loop cut here. I wanted a bit cheap move to add that one. Let me think. Like my first intern job was nothing but retopologizing. I did retopologizing 9.2. I'm gonna remove the shrink wrap because at this point I'm just gonna apply it. Yeah, because at this point I kind of want to make changes and this is all gonna make sense in the end. Oh, come on, really? Okay, yeah, because because I applied the shrink wrap first. I need to kind of fix these center ones. Face is fine for now. Gonna do it later. So the thing I want to do here is kind of create a loop cut for the butt. I said butt. I kind of do I want to connect this just like this? Maybe. What is it doing? I'm so confused. Okay, and then just yeah, this makes sense. Right? Yeah. I'm not too bothered about the butt as well as this awkward part. Hello there. Seam in between your legs. Just gonna keep this very straightforward and simple. You're not gonna see that. The reason I'm retopologizing this is because I want to texture it, and you can't. Because somebody asked in the Discord to kind of show some texturing as well. I might not get to that in this stream though, but probably not. This will be a multiple stream. Oof. Okay. I'm kind of noticing I'm kind of missing a little bit of geometry in here. Might split this, move it a little bit forward, so that I have at least one loop cut. Whoa, what happened there? Okay, so I have one loop going around there, and then solve this by merging these. Delete this vertex and rethink my life choices. Does this make sense now, in my opinion? I think no, it doesn't. Hold on. Yeah, before I make myself dizzy. Yeah, this doesn't make sense. Hold on, no, it does. If we just do this. Yeah, but this is a little bit too cheeky to do. A little bit too cheeky. I might just climb this down. And merge by distance. 6 vertices, that doesn't sound right. Were those 6? Yeah, those are 6. Okay, cool. No, I just add an extra loop cut here. Add one here to make this more square. So that's all fine and dandy. Then we got this thing going on here. Probably want to connect these. I could do this. Doesn't bother me too much. And then connect these. No. Yes. Okay, cool. That makes sense. Let me see here. Oh, that pole. That's a heavy pole, though. Oof. Already gonna. Not sure it bothers me. What doesn't bother me can stay. You don't bother me. Julie just gave me a panic look. You can stay.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay.
I'm not throwing you out during the quarantine. After that, though. No, just kidding. Sometimes I think I'm too mean to my girlfriend. Hi, bro. Hi, Zoom the Universe. It's a cool name. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Let me check my phone for a second. Seems like the Blender Studio is starting a new project. Coffee run is almost done. Why am I picking my... Okay, I should learn to model with my tablet. Never got to it. Yeah, about the fingers. What did I just do? What is happening? So I want each finger to be a circle. Turn off clipping. I'll 6 because I find like doing 4 because I would like to do like 4 because then you have less polys. I'm also gonna separate this for a second and do a separate run on this just to make my life a little bit easier. At this point, fingers are, I mean, a hand. It's probably still like, it's hard to do, man. I don't like to do it. First, you want to make sure your fingers are kind of right. In my case, they aren't. There you go. And kind of like start to, what is happening? Oh, it didn't subdivide this. Yeah, because it's always like a payoff. Like, what do you already do and what don't you do? Because like I could make one finger and then copy the finger, but then you have to adjust so much afterwards. It's a struggle, man. Just gonna do some cheeky tactics here. Move things like this. There we go. Seems about right. I mean, you can just fill these up, put things on normal, and then how do you do this? Come on, extrude a little bit, and then come on. Why don't you? Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, individual origins. There we go. And then just scale these down. And then we have our fingertips. And then, oh, I know why I use the mouse. I can't scroll on my... So each finger has 2 joints. Seems about right. Although I want to move these joints a little bit up there. And these a little bit more to the middle. And then at select modes. This is gonna need a lot of cleanup. And then do something like this, right? My main priority here is to get the topology in there, and not to worry about. So we're just gonna connect these up. Not to worry about shape at the moment, and do the shape once the topology is there. I'm gonna keep this fairly simple, I think. So there we go. And then you'll see how easy that is. It's just 3D, man. It's not that hard. Okay. So now we got our hand like with 22 vertices, which is not good, right? Because we need to go to what, 8. So a logical place for me to add or to remove these loop cuts is like here, because they have this weird shape, right? So how are we gonna do this? So we can just like do this, I guess. Oh, man. So this makes sense, and to some degree. You can also do it here. And then also do that on the opposing ones. There we go. So now we have 14 verts. It's already better. These ones make sense. I don't think like, because if you subdivide now, right, you kind of see that this leaves enough room for in between the fingers without creating poles that are too ouchy. There's a topology of hands which is better for animation if you really want to do animation. It's where the loop of one finger goes around the edge of the other finger. And I've done this once or twice before. I think my previous character I did this. But like the amount of also this, right? You want to fix this. So the tops don't have very good topology. So we just want to yeah, somebody told me that I probably should have F2 enabled. Yeah, I was gonna save. I haven't saved in a while. So 14, so I still need to remove 6. It's not gonna be easy. I'm just gonna a little bit back. Just do this again. Come on. Topology first. I'm just gonna relax this really. Maybe guess. That's 12. So let's do this 2 more times. It's a bit dirty. Not sure if I'm super comfortable with this. But you know. So now we have 8 vertices. So this will be our wrist, right? And this looks terrible at the moment. Now I'm going to show you what I always do. Let's do it already. Oh, this looks super weird. Now I go into sculpt mode, and I start to redefine this. I think you could probably do a better job in making this a little bit better. Inflate this ever so slightly. Ah man, I hate that the inflate tool doesn't have. Okay, the main part is to get that like natural shape of the hand in here. This one inflates, no, not blob inflate. Yeah, this part. Make it look more like a hand, like the palm of the hand. Also improve the shape here a little bit, so it's more. You can look at your own hand. It's the easiest thing to do, right? If you're making a hand, just look at your hand. It's like, oh no, this goes here, this goes here. And change it until it makes sense. Until it looks like your hand or somebody else's hand. Making a foot is way harder because I always wear socks. No, it's just like we're not as familiar with feet as we are with hands. On the other hand, that allows for more mistakes to be made on the feet without anybody noticing them. That's why I think I can. Ooh, my axe murder is on. That's bad. Okay, so the thumb is going a little bit crazy here. But now you can kind of start to see where I'm trying to go with this. And it slowly starts to look like a human hand. And this doesn't have to be perfect yet, but you know. And tilt this one up a little bit. Not too much though. Also do this on the downside. Just with the entire finger here. And then, you know, we have this handy tool. With which we can kind of put in a more natural shape of the finger. And you can kind of get these. There's a way to. Oh yeah, just like this. Okay. Kind of readjust that shape here a little bit. This is the only tool that kind of ignores neighboring. Come on. If your art looks like trash, it's just not finished. Remember how that hand looked? Terrible. Look how now it starts to look like a normal hand. Because I don't know, I've had people say this, like that my workflow is so different from other people's. I don't know if it's better. I might just like be a victim of my own laziness. But you know, it has some perks. It's I like trying to find ways that like with the speed of computers now and the speed of like and the ease of sculpting especially to find ways to you know. Man, my finger a little bit crooked here, but it's easily fixable. I kind of want kind of a little bit dubious of where my... I'm going to edit mode and I see that I shove a lot of these... just gonna select these. There has to be a better way. I kind of want to push these back, right? And these like... Oh, that's... there we go. Can you make some adjustments here to the rotation here? Whoops. Okay, now we can, if I even turn off the subdivision, then I can do my adjustments even better. And kind of give these joints a little bit more volume. There we go. These as well. It's a bit weird. There we go. That's a low poly hand. If I've ever seen one. Okay, cool. And the main reason, yeah, I already said this, but the main reason I used to, when I do this low poly stuff, I used to work with squares for the hands, because then your poly count on the hand is like not as high. But the issue coming up then is that the amount that it smooths it out is too much for me. So now when we check this, if we turn this on and off, it's not as extreme as it would be if they were squares, right? But okay, let's just go out of mode. Wow, these are giant hands. Okay, let's just join them up. Just gonna select my hand. Make it smaller, bigger. Who knows what I'll do. The size of the hand is also something that's like prone to, because now I see that the hand is very flat, like especially at the end here, and might just do a quick come on, O. Yeah, there we go. No. Alt O. Oh, come on. There we go. Gonna just go this to I can just delete these vertices. That's still 8, right? Yeah. Look at what makes most sense. And then just see if this makes sense. Yeah, sure. And connect this up. Go to wireframe mode, is select my hand. Kind of have this more. Now I kind of have to figure out the size of the hand, right? Kind of want to have to a little bit bigger hands. Yeah, cool. We'll fix all this once we go into more detailed sculpting. Oh yeah, one more thing I want to add, because he's wearing a shirt. I already want to think about this beforehand, because like details like a belt and stuff we're gonna add like a separate object. But I want like the first layer of clothes to be part of yeah, part of that. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna separate part of the arm and make it a little bit smaller, and then that didn't work. Okay, cool. F2 is not as good as I thought it was. And then yeah, I have that shirt come until here, I guess. Do I want to bevel this? Yeah, I guess. Maybe even a little bit bigger. And then also bevel the inner one. And then in sculpting we can kind of detail this and define this. Kind of want to add an extra loop cut here. You know, make it look like cloth and all that good stuff. So the wrist doesn't look really good now, but let me see here. Whoops. Looks a bit better. Yeah, looks good. Maybe a little bit thicker. There we go. Cool. I mean, we could even like make separate parts. Yeah, I think that's the smartest actually. Like not sculpt on one piece, but I think it makes more sense. So I'm gonna delete. No, I don't want to delete. I want to separate this. And just make this into separate objects. This goes in. And this also goes in. Also looks a little bit cleaner. That's better. That's way better. Do want to give him high waist pants. Man, casual suit in all caps because my caps lock is on. Alright, he has hips that don't lie. I'm gonna probably make it a little here. And then do something like this. Okay, something weird is going on. What the okay, there we go. Oh, okay. That's what happened. Okay. Now we got this. It kind of looks a little bit weird. It's once we start sculpting and pushing these a little bit together, it's gonna look better. So yeah, we want to think in different pieces, right? So it's gonna make more sense. And especially also with the shirt. I probably want to do this as early as possible. Shirt is gonna be this loop here. This is gonna be a little bit more awkward. I'm gonna split it here. No, I'm gonna do something. Hold on to your butts. I'm gonna do something. And I'm trying to figure out what the fastest way is to do this. Man. I'm thinking of doing an entire day of streaming tomorrow, but I might not. I don't know if I'm streaming today. An hour and 20 minutes. Look how far we've come. Just kidding. Okay. I want to. Okay, I'm just gonna do this the easy way. So split it here, and then get this until here. I'm gonna separate this piece. I'm gonna start using random colors. So I'm just gonna start separating these pieces from each other because it's gonna be way more clear. So this is gonna be the head. This is the shirt. These are the arms. These are the arms. Okay, these are the heads. And now these are the arms. Come on, why is it... What is up with the colors? They're defined by their name? Feet. Arms. Feet. Not feet. What? I'm gonna call the shirt Cash shirt. Just give it another color. God, it's the same color as the head. Man, I don't like this. The random color is like so. Instead of like going through all of the visible objects to give them separate colors, I don't know what it's dependent on. I'm gonna call this ears. I'm gonna put this into the man low. So this is kind of what his apparel looks like, I guess. Make it loaded. Oh, it looks tight. All right, let's see here. Let's call the head, and neck. There we go. Now I can finally see what's going on here. Okay, so we just want to Alt S this until yeah, it covers. Cool, that'll be fine. The face and the shoes are probably gonna be a little bit harder. Especially like attaching the ears is gonna be nice. But yeah, first let's figure out our workflow. I'm gonna delete the subdivision for a hot second here. Yeah, I want to think about this. This has to make sense, right? Oh my god. I'm gonna add the shrink wrap here again. It's on deform, right? I'm going blind. I'm gonna call the put this on the man's sphere. Naming sphere 007. Bond. James Bond. Okay, so why did I move this? Oh, this is creepy. Okay, weird. Yeah, the reason for this that I want to already have applied is that I can really easily define my loop cuts without it being too much of a problem. So I'm gonna have my upper lip and my lower lip like this. Looks good. Oh, my clipping turned on again. That's his neck apparently. I mean, we're gonna adjust all of this once we start sculpting again, but we want our basic topology to be in here, right? So go like these, like these. This is very good, yes. And on the top of the eyebrow, we want to have a loop going around. Not too close though. I don't want to follow this. Oh, come on, really. That was weird. Like these, and then from here on, I mean, let's continue our loop cut. I'm not gonna be shy of adding extra geometry in the face here, because I kind of want to have this as clean as possible, and then go here, make this smaller, so be kind of the eye sockets. So I'm gonna. It's probably all in the wrong position because I didn't even sculpt that, so using a shrink wrap on this feels kind of counterintuitive, but what's always happening? Okay, not sure. So I want this to go around. I don't want this to connect like this. Yeah, and then make sure that makes sense. Because I just want a topology in there, and so we can worry about this later. What always press Ctrl R? I click. Oh, then. Why do I have the reflex to right click when I do that? I don't know. Maybe it's an old Blender reflex. Get this here, right? Let's get this loop cut like this. Let's already connect these. Come on. I'm being sloppy. Oh, come on. Okay. Oh, come on. Why do I have that reflex? That's so weird. This can go around here. Sure. No. Let's do it like this. An extra loop cut in here, and one can go like this. Not sure. Like these. It looks like the man in the iron mask. So this, oh, come on, really? Okay, so this can connect here. That's fine for the nose. No, it isn't. Nah, it isn't. Girl. I want the nose to have one loop cut going around. So we can have this. Yeah, one extra here. There we go. We'll fill that up. So we have this loop cut, we have this loop cut, this loop. Oh yeah, I probably want to, I don't know, add one extra for the nose. It's a high density area, so. And if I did it one more time. Come on. Sure. And now we can split this off. And now we can have a... Okay, this doesn't make sense. Okay. It's probably because I want to deselect it, but it's gonna default this on loop tools. Okay. That makes sense for me. There we go. There we go. There we don't go. An extra loop cut here. Yeah. There. That's all like my mouth topology. Already gonna open the mouth a little bit. Oh, that's not necessary. It's gonna have my clothes for this piece. Don't want to dabble in that. Turn clipping for a second again. Come on, really? Don't be that guy. So that topology I like. Yes. Okay, this was getting awkward anyway, so How much for these are these? 11. Okay, I like an even number, so there we go. That goes. That goes. Man, I don't want to create a pole in the middle of the face, but this doesn't have to be a pole. This is just vertex. Let's just have this. Make some tension here. That makes sense, I guess. Does it? Like have a loop cut here? Nah. Nah. Just gonna create it like this, yeah. And this is gonna make more sense if maybe this should just loop around. Let's see here. What the chin creates. What? No. Okay. It was weird. Let's ignore that. Act like it never happened. Why was there suddenly a distance measure on my screen? I'm gonna save, by the way. I'm just gonna extrude these, see what happens. See what feels natural. I've been doing this kind of stuff. You don't always have to get it right on the first time. You can just play around like this and then things will come naturally. Creating a pole here seems weird though. Although it does relieve the stress from this area a little bit. Okay, sure, let's go with it. It's starting to become clean. I'm sorry for yawning. Just gonna relieve some stress here. Relax our vertices. Give them a nice hot bath. What am I on about? Okay, so these three do want to go to the ears, so I'm gonna just get the ear back, right? So at this point I kind of want to delete the shrink wrap, so I'm just gonna apply it. Okay, so the ear is a little bit closer than I thought. I could be very cheap about the ear. I could create another cylinder, but like with 16 vertices. I could also make green. Okay. Okay, cool. Somewhat in the same position. There we go. And then our faces here go away. And then from here to here somewhat. Yeah. You know what? Just delete. No, other way around. Delete these ones. Yeah. Okay, so now join this up. Let's get rid of this. I can just connect these. Very easy. Very nice. I like easy stuff. It's a bit of an awkward situation here though, with all these stretched rectangles. Let's see here. How are we gonna fix it? Just add an extra loop cut? I think we will. And then just, you know, bring this a little bit closer. And then later on, sculpting will have a little bit more to work with here. All right. Moving on. Then maybe we can even connect this up. Gonna make. Ooh. I guess I want to make a helix sphere. I'm just kidding. I kind of want to connect this, so I'm gonna split this up. What is that? Just something was appearing on my screen. Oh god. Don't make a helix sphere, or whatever it's called. Like, this is the same side, right? Yeah. Okay. So now what we just can do is just create our ring here. Bring it in. And then, like, just make sure we have enough geometry to work with. And then later on, we can in sculpting get some shapes in here and stuff. But now I just care about the geometry, and I don't want to make the geometry too complicated. So I'm just gonna do the thing that the skull here does. I'm just gonna check here where this should go. There we go. So that we don't have, like, because sometimes you like have this crazy anatomy in crazy topology in the ears, but I don't think that's necessary. As long as we, because this is gonna be cleaner in the UV anyway. But yeah, I think like for go away. What are you doing? Okay, cool. No. What is that? I don't like it. Okay, now this is just all kinds of wrong. I'm not sure if I feel comfortable doing this. If I just relax this a little bit, this will be fine. Yeah, looks good. Let's bring this up a little bit. Okay, cool. Yeah, the rest is just filling it up, I guess. The eye is still gonna be a little bit awkward though. That's my angry face. What am I doing? You're making clean topology, Cedric. Oh, that's what I'm doing. Still like losing my mind. Been inside for too long. Let's see here. I'm listening to very calm Lord of the Rings music, but in my mind it's just hardcore beats, man. That looks pretty fine, if you ask me. We'll fix some of the other stuff with sculpting. Okay, the news. I don't know noses. Ah, pun intended. 13. Get that 13. That's bad luck. Relax. Okay, cool. Relax this. Relax this. Okay, cool. Just a little bit back here. Okay. I feel like there should be a loop cut going here. But I don't know, man. I don't know, governor. Okay, so I want to create, because I want to put these down. This will be like the nostril topology. I don't even have to make this a closed loop. I can just something like this. Yeah. There we go. I'm trying to stop myself from looking too much at the shape because I really want to try to be able to tell, okay, the topology is right, and now I'm gonna start sculpting and putting these shapes in the right positions. I have a tree here, but that's not bad. That's not gonna bother me. I mean, once you subdivide, the tree is gone, so. Okay, cool. The rest, my friends, it's gonna be pretty easy. So what we want to do is go to side view, we poof, poof, poof. Connect these. Stop doing that, man. What is wrong with my reflexes? I think it's because how the original shortcuts worked. I don't know what he's always doing. Oh, I know what's happening. Okay. So I have the reflex. Oh man, that is so annoying. Why did they change that? Oh no, that is not good. So I'm used to when you make a loop cut, you press Ctrl R, you click left, and then you can still slide it. But I mostly just want it in the middle, so I just right clicked it to default it into the middle, right? But if you create a loop cut, they added a feature that it just, you can't slide it along an edge. So it will automatically set one there and you don't have to deselect it. But now with the right click, I go right into the right click menu. That is so counterintuitive. I'll have to write an angry email to the Blender Institute. Just kidding. Don't do that. They do great work over there. So his eyes are going to be closed. So both characters' eyes are going to be closed. It's kind of a shame because I found a new technique to make eyes, which makes some very pretty eyes. I might open her eyes up. I'm just going to look at my sketch. That might even work from a storytelling perspective. Let me think. I'm thinking. I'm wrangling my brain. Yeah, let's do that. I'm just gonna open her eyes up. I don't know what this is. I'm just gonna go to my view and very carefully look at what this 0M is. Ruler data. Ruler data. Is that it? No. It did sound like it was that, right? If I just press X anywhere, it deletes it, but I don't know what it is. There it is again. Ruler data. Go away. I don't want you. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Oh, come on, really? I know. There's no way for the computer to know what goes where, but okay. Oh, come on. So okay, so that pole makes sense here. Put a little bit up here. Now we just gonna delete this vertex. Now what we want to do is just I'm gonna ignore the other loop cut we made, just using it as a guide at the moment. May have made the skull a little bit too long. We can go like this. Whoops. Okay. I'll see about the skull once it's done. Now, what all of ye? I'm just gonna do something extreme here and connect these two up, and give it, let's say, 3 loop cuts, and adjust the angle a little bit here. So that's correct. That seems good. And then we can start figuring out what to do with all these loop cuts here. Just go around like this, I guess. There we go. And then we can go like these, and like these, and like these. No. What is going on? Why are all these things here? Okay, I have to Google that real quickly because it's annoying me. Blender measurements on viewport, in viewport. Take measure. Toolbar, measure, tool, active. Oh, I wanted measure tool. So if I turn that tool off, oh, okie dokie. Good morning, Omega. How's you doing? Is this way better than sculpting? It's not a different way. I'm making a clean topology to sculpt. You know, if you're choosing between sculpting and modeling, you're doing something wrong. I'm making a clean topology so I can sculpt and pose it correctly. I'm probably gonna pose it in sculpting though. The reason I'm doing it is because I'm trying just a fast way out of. Basically, if you check the entire stream, my workflow has been blocking, sculpting, modeling, and it's going to be sculpting again. Just so you know, I want some control on the geometry. I want to texture it, and you cannot like efficiently texture a sculpt. That's why I'm first making a clean topology. And this is based off the sculpt I made earlier, so of the very rough sculpt. But I don't want to make a detailed sculpt and retopologize that because I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out if this is a better way of doing things. Not too happy with how the ear looks here. There we go. I mean, the ear is could be a better shape here. There we go. Yeah, cool. So I have an odd number of, so I'm gonna have to add a loop cut anyway. I'm just gonna cram this a little bit closer to each other. So there we go. So probably want to go like this. I think I made a double, yeah. There you go. Yes, and then we want to go like this. That is very weird. Okay, so delete this one. Okay, what makes sense here? I guess this actually makes, whoops. This actually makes more sense. Where does this loop cut go now? Yeah, it goes around. No, it doesn't. And then just, yeah, have a pole here. Man, I need to get used to these change shortcuts. So now this looks all dented and stuff, right? So we can just get our sculpt tool, put it on inflate. Am I inflating stuff? No, because my normals are not recalculated. Are they? Are they inverted? No, they aren't. Inflate. There we go. Yeah, that worked. And we can just smooth it out. So using, that's also the thing, like, people are always like, I have to model or sculpt, but you can use sculpting tools during modeling. And that helps, like, okay, it's kind of annoying with the, I can apply the mirror. Whoops, what happened? No. Go back. I cannot. Hello. Okay. Let's really quickly fix that. So X, we'll scale this to 0. Put the median of the global on 0. So it looks fine. Then go into sculpting. Okay, why is that broken? I'm gonna save. Thanks for explaining, but by you as an expert, what do you prefer? Some friends advise me to do not sculpt. Your friends are idiots. No, just kidding. The thing is, sculpting and modeling are both tools to move geometry around, right? You have to think like, you have a nail and you have two types of hammers, and sure, one hammer will be more fit for one type of nail, another hammer will be more fit another type of nail, but there isn't a single carpenter that doesn't have both hammers and doesn't use both hammers. What I'm trying to say is, and in some cases you'll have a screw, and sure, you can force brute the screw in with a hammer, but you want to use a screwdriver. What I'm trying to say with that is, like, just with every step you do, and it's going to be a slow process in the beginning, but every step you do, like, you have to be, I want to achieve this small task. Like, I'm doing the skull now, and I'm like, what's the fastest way, or what's the most efficient way of doing that? And like, I could, like, very carefully, and that's how a lot of people model, right? That's like, oh, like, put one vertex and then look from all sides, is it correct version, and move it slightly up and down. And I hate that. I hate looking at it. I've looked at people working like that, and it's a different thing when you're modeling hard surface stuff, or like cars or detailed stuff, because then you have to be that detailed. But if you're modeling something organic, then, I mean, I prefer the way, and oh my god, something is not correct here. I'm just gonna duplicate this entire thing. I'm gonna separate it. I'm gonna delete the original, and I'm gonna check if this, oh boy, is this because, oh, it was just hidden. Why was it hidden? That's so weird. Okay, but now I can, why is my, okay, so now I can just go back because, okay, cool. So sculpt and unhide, there we go, and then X mirror. Why is the X mirror so weird? Okay, I'm gonna, apparently, so I'm gonna put my origin, the center of mass surface, that should put it in the middle. Not sure what happened there. Yeah, so that seems correct. Cool. And now I can just, because I like to use the sculpting tools a bit more, because I find them way more intuitive, and I can still see my geometry because my shading is on flat. And I can just press the shift button to, it's doing some weird stuff here because of the, but I can just drag everything along here and make this smoother, make more sense, you know what I mean. And that's just my way of working. It's like, but I get what your friends are saying, is because if you're starting out in 3D, I mean, go have a ride in sculpting, right? Use it as a tool to learn modeling and sculpting, sure. But I guess the advice that I do give you, that probably your friends also mean, is that you don't want to start, if you really don't understand 3D or have a lot of experience, like if you haven't made basic stuff, you should probably not start sculpting. Like first make some chairs and tables and all that good stuff. You know, and once you get better, you can create some more complex stuff, and then like, and every time you have like the sense that this would be easier in sculpting, don't use Dime Topo or Remesh, but just sculpt it, and then, you know, because now like the ear, I can just grab it and kind of, I find this more intuitive than trying to move the vertices around, right? You can use the flatten tool. I mean, it's kind of iffy around the edge here with the symmetry, but other than that, like if I want to inflate, I find it way more intuitive than modeling. So I have a do the topology first methodology. So once the topology is right, you know, I can just, with still seeing the topology, and this works on, this will not work on very high poly stuff because you will not see the topology anymore, but it kind of works for this level, because I'm just like, I kind of want to make more like art pieces, not to sound too yeah, I'm gonna really quickly delete half of this and turn, whoops, do? Oh, no. There you are. Apparently there were things hidden. I'll delete these floating vertices, and I'm gonna touch a mirror modifier again. And then I'm gonna kinda, so that everything is really correct. Because the sculpting tool can like screw up some symmetry stuff. So now I can just scale it. I don't know what's happening. Why is it not working? Scale X. Okay, so yeah, this won't work. Oh, that's something weird here. Okay, cool. Once I have clipping on, I can. This. Oh, you're slightly rotated. And why is that? Okay, so let's try it again. Okay. Okay, I have a double edge here. That's what's happening. There we go. Oh. So that fixed the issue. Cool. I know I'm gonna be lazy about this, but unnecessary step. Hi, I hope you're doing well. Yeah, you too, man. Hey, bra. I'm a beruba. I'm new for using 3D. Can you please give me some advice as how I start? Thanks. I think the best way to start is, if you're really starting from the beginning, is start to make the interior of a house, right? Start with a chair, with a drawer, with like kitchen stuff, like a fridge, and move up to levels of complexity, and go to a couch, go to a lamp, just modeling and texturing them, and just texture with simple wood textures you find online, and cloth textures. And with every more complex piece that you have, you'll have to tackle another issue, and just Google that specific issue. So just start modeling a chair and see what you can do. And I've been thinking about making a very basic course, but doing that in Blender now feels so frustrating. Because I know like Zach from CG Boost has been trying to do that. But yeah, every time they change something, your tutorial becomes a little bit like, I wouldn't say obsolete, but I'm not sure like if he's trying to, because I want to kind of make a course of this is how you do it, but like without all the shortcuts and without all the Blender tools, but more like theoretical, like how do you tackle. Don't you have your own classroom? Aren't you a teacher? Well, I am a teacher. I'm here, aren't I? I'm an online teacher. No, I don't teach in real life yet. It's certainly something I do want to do, but the school I went to, like I still know the principal and I see him at events and such. I'm always like, hey, do you have a spot open? I would like to. Would love to become a teacher, and he's always like flattered because in Belgium at least there's not a lot of people who apparently like who show passion for becoming a teacher. There's enough. Like I've definitely had classes from people who love teaching and stuff, which I'm very grateful for, because that's something you shouldn't take for granted, because I think there's also a lot of teachers who just like they saw a job opening as a teacher and they were like, hey, I can do that, and then they started teaching. But I think that also comes because that's why I started a YouTube channel, because I love teaching. I'm not the best in it, but yeah, I'm gaining experience in teaching, I guess. So I'm trying to figure out how to do the loops here. Looks a little bit like Thanos at this point, on a purple broad face. But yeah, it's certainly something I want to do. But yeah, I've been thinking about doing these kind of courses, but I'm so like all over the place, and I know this. Like, I know I'm a bit of a chaotic dude. Definitely. And then it's the thing, like, do I prepare it, do I script it, and do I go as far as to like script it and edit it, or do I just like go do it my way and do a little bit more like not streams, like still edit it, but still a little bit do it more my way and explain things on the go. It's definitely hard with online teaching. Like it's definitely like a new thing. Whereas if you have a classroom in front of you, because I've had like the experience of like not really being a teacher, but being somebody who teaches in front of a classroom. If that makes sense, like small presentations or explaining some stuff, giving small talks, and like. If you have an audience and you can read the audience or you can answer questions like on the go, it's so much more intuitive than giving an online class, because like in an online class you're on your own talking to a microphone, and it's like it's a bit more scarier, I guess, and harder to do in some cases. I guess I shouldn't be too worried. I was trying to not add loops here, but this is like separate from the shirt at this point, so I don't think I should worry about that too much. Oh, come on. Okay, so it's a little bit smoother. Because I feel like this is a little bit too rough here. That's the thing, like if you want to have a small tip, right? Like this was crazy for me, by the way. So your first assignment is to model a chair, right? You start with a cube and you do the obvious thing. Okay, so I now have the place where I sit on, and then like I would say 4 out of 5 people who start modeling will start to without good teaching, right? They will start doing something like this. All right, and then okay, there's a small indent on my reference, and then I go like this, then I go like this, right? And that is fine, But then you start to run into problems, and this is what I see a lot of modelers do. And it's like, oh, I have to add edge loops to this to make this sharper, right? And then it just starts to become so messy, like, and it's like, okay, yeah, this somehow makes sense, but you have to add so much loop cuts, and then it just becomes messy in other places where it shouldn't become messy. And it's just like a misunderstanding of how 3D works, or like, what is like. I'm mostly talking about the creative sector, because in the technical sector, architecture and all that, that's different. But then, and this I only started doing like after 2-3 years. Like, okay, I model a chair, I do the plateau, I add another cube. This is something stupid, right? This is like one of the basic principles of modeling that I find that a lot of people ignore. It's just like, oh, this is intersected, right? And then people are like, but you're gonna see the intersections on a smooth line. And I'm like, yeah, but in real life, these objects are separate as well, right? So if I just bevel this, which is like 10 times easier than adding loop cuts, never add loop cuts to make your edge sharper. I'm so against that. And then, you know, you can subdivide it and it already looks clean. I mean, yeah, sure, normal orbit's cute because of the stretched faces, but now look how clean this looks. And even then, like, it doesn't matter if it intersects or it just pushes against it, because it's a chair and you will probably mostly see it from here. And this is something like making separate parts as separate meshes is something that misses so much from people learning to do modeling these days, I feel like. And it's just it's pretty sad, but because even things that are not separate pieces, you can do as separate pieces, and then if in the texturing it looks like it's connected, then it doesn't matter. It's like we have the tools to paint on the 3D mesh. The reason they used to do this is because the more separate meshes you have, like it would become harder in some cases to texture it, because you have to texture it on the 2D plane and then making connecting textures. It's just so, but it's so weird that we came to this point where this is the way they teach 3D. Where it's just like, if you're making a chair in 3D, make the chair like they would make in real life. Make the separate pieces and puzzle them together. Make it, you know, it's very hard to make an IKEA dresser, like a fancy dresser in 3D. It's very easy to make all the separate IKEA parts in 3D, right? And if you put those separate IKEA parts together, then you have the dresser. And this is what I'm doing basically with this as well. Is like, I'm focusing on one piece. I have these separate pieces. Because if I would like sculpt this entire thing, like, and go from place to place and not focus on a single piece and make that correct, like if I now in the end put all the pieces together, it will look good, hopefully. But you know, I would love to learn basics things. Yeah, it's something like, it's something I've been thinking about. But I'm not sure in what format I should do this yet, or how I should tackle this. I've been thinking about like doing another short, or do another set for a short and make modeling tutorials in that, right? The idea is to have a living room and kitchen area for in a bit of a stylized manner, so it wouldn't be realistic. But stylized just means, this is a misconception about stylized. Stylized is not easier. Stylized is nothing more than a caricature of real life. You're emphasizing the details on that we use to distinguish objects. So a stylized tree would have like more emphasis on the shapes of the trunk and the shapes of the leaves and the colors of those elements. You're simplifying those shapes so they're more readable. That's what stylization is. And then, you know, you do that in a certain way, and then you stylize in a certain fashion. But I like to do more stylized stuff because I get bored doing realistic stuff really quickly. Because approaching reality is just about finding the right parameters where There we go. And there's the neck. Whereas making stylized stuff is a bit more about creative thinking. Like, what do I want to... Like the Morticia I made yesterday, it's not about... Like, okay, the anatomy still has to be correct. Like, stylization is not about breaking the rules. It's about applying the rules that you know, blowing up the rules. Not blowing up, that's not the correct word. Overdoing the rules where your story lies. If that makes sense, you know. I'm not sure if this still makes sense actually. Okay. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, cool. Let's do it like this. Yeah, that looks fine. Kind of dirtying things up in here, but they make sense. That Thanos chin though. I don't really wanna. It's a little bit more realistic. Kind of lost the skull things in there, but once I start sculpting later. Yeah, so I was looking for a word. Like, I think stylization is about knowing what the rules are and then like putting an emphasis on the things that emphasize your story. A simple look at Gru from Despicable Me. He is stylized in a fashion where his nose and his body shape is very dominant. Like, he's very heavy on top and he goes down in an upside down triangle. And he has a very sharp nose. It looks ridiculous, so the emphasis on the storytelling there is mostly on how funny the character looks, right? The first time you see Gru, it's like, oh, it looks like a funny character in a funny movie. Then you have something like Up, for instance, whereas that goes deeper into form, storytelling, and so, but I need to cut some loops here because whereas the grandpa, I forgot his name, let's just do it like this. It's behind the ear, I don't care. This will bite me in the back because this is not going to smooth out very nicely. If any experienced 3D artists are watching, they're cringing at the moment. I'm sorry. Sorry. Yeah, I should connect this better. I can't watch this. This should connect to this. Yeah. And I have a nice... It's not super nice, but it kind of makes more sense. And this should connect to this. Yeah, that's already better. Then we can just continue this here. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah, so the grandpa and the grandma from Up, so the two old people in the beginning of the, so the two characters from the intro. They are she is round, so very fleeting, very adventurous. Well, he is square, so he's very steadfast and that tells a lot about the storytelling as well. Not only about the characters, but about like the stylization there puts the emphasis on who they are and what the story is. So it's kind of like the double meta of... I'm getting too deep in here. It's kind of like the double meta, if that makes sense. Like, the form is obvious. So the form tells us who these people are. But the choices in stylization, why they took those forms and changed those, is to put the emphasis on... We go from a realistic human to that stylization. Because the emphasis is on the story and not the realism of the characters. Like, so, like a character like Gru wouldn't fly in Up, pun intended. But he because if you would look at Gru, because although it does, like the bird, for instance, in Up, is it's a funny looking bird, and that's the emphasis on the stylization. It's a comedy factor. So they stylize him in a manner where it's like if you tell somebody stylize a character, you first have to ask, okay, but why are we stylizing it? Oh, so that it looks funny. And then you can go crazy with like facial features, because out of proportional facial features are funny. Like these caricatures we've done for like hundreds of years, like in newspapers where, you know, you emphasize, you size up and size down character features, and that's because for a comical effect. Whilst as if you stylize out of a storytelling perspective, you're not just going to do that. Like they didn't take an old man and sized up like different facial features to make him look stylized to going up. It's like what I feel about the Addams Family, right? The Addams Family character designs, we talked about this yesterday. They were stylized in a manner where you're looking at them and it's like, oh, they're supposed to be funny. And they're not stylized in a fashion where you respect their storytelling or their narrative. I don't know if that makes sense. I guess it's just some research for the correct words on that, but maybe you get what I mean. But it's the intent. I guess that's a better word. The intent behind the stylization has to be correct with the story you're trying to tell. Otherwise, the stylization doesn't make sense. Disney stylizes its females, its princesses, in a way that they look prettier. The pretty features of a woman are, especially those girls, are like very fragile anatomy, very big eyes, eyelashes, perfect makeup. Although that's not a stylization, but like wavy hair. The hair is always stylized in a fashion that it's smooth and thick, and it emphasizes on the hair. So the stylization choices go to a certain way of wanting to show this is how, and this is kind of mean to say, but this is kind of how a perfect girl should look. That's what the emphasis on stylization is. This is a princess. This is something to look up to. And I think that intent went away, so I don't think they design Disney princesses or Disney female characters that way anymore with that intent. But because they're so locked in their art style, it still comes over like that. And even if they change the narrative, if they don't change the art style with it, it doesn't make sense. Then you get a movie like Brave about a girl who has to be strong and or who wants to be strong or doesn't want to be segued into this, I have to marry to keep the family name going and to have peace within the clans, follow tradition. She wants to have freedom. But her character art, although it's a good design, don't get me wrong, right? But the stylization in her character doesn't tell that narrative, because she is still a frail small girl with big eyes. They kind of went in the right direction, but still, like, it follows this Disney princess, and it's something a lot of people copy. It's a stylization that at the moment is very popular as well, I think, and there's nothing too wrong about it. I like the style, but I think a lot of artists know this, that if you're creating a stylized character, stylized got now this. If you look up stylized now, it's a very specific style, which shouldn't be the case, right? Stylized is everything that's not realistic, in a sense, or you still have like abstract art and stuff. But just trying to make fast. I'm not sure if this is the best. Oh, it looks pretty good. You can close them and sculpt. And I mean, a lot of artists know this, right? This is why most big animated movies, and especially games do this very well. I think games do this at the moment better than animated movies. And there's a lot of also series out there great. I think that games is also an interesting subject to touch upon, considering stylization, because I think they do that a lot better. I think because it's not so set in stone, right? The big studios, and because it's not artists their fault, it's basically the higher ups their fault, because there has been a long time. I worked in one of those studios where they made a movie. I didn't work on that movie, but they made a movie about fish under the water, and the literal briefing of make it look like Finding Nemo came true. Even though you're telling another story with different characters, and maybe, yeah, that's why I'm so pumped for the Connected movie, because they took their stylization to another level to support their storytelling. Like, if you look at, like, if your characters kind of show what the story is about, then you nailed the character design, in my sense. And if it doesn't, if you have to have a trailer with dialogue and such, then I mean, that's fine. It can still be a great movie, right? But I feel like you kind of failed in your character design, even though your character design could be like super good. This is the point where I might move into sculpting, and kind of make this a little bit less extreme. Because I mean, this is also not an easy thing to do. It's not a thing that I always do. I try to do that, but I'm not a designer. So my characters are mostly more generic, I would say, and it's something I haven't been too happy about for a while. I've been trying to get into designing more, drawing more, but I still have to build up the skill a little bit to. So now we can like make big changes to make this all. I'm just gonna really quickly apply the mirror before this kind of breaks too much. I mean, I could really quickly turn on smooth shading, although at this point it's so low poly you can't really read it. Nah, that wasn't a good idea. When modeling with a mirror modifier, when you are done modeling, how would you join the verts between the two sides? Because I could do it anyway, but I just want to know the correct way to do it. Oh, I just did it, sorry. It's automatically. Hold on. If you have a mirror modifier, you have to make sure the option merge is on. And then if you want to select your middle loop, if you can, or just all the vertices in the middle. And in your item tab, in your global transform modifiers, you want to make sure that these are on 0. And then you want to scale them as well without the scale them X and then press 0. And then normally you should get something that's perfect in the middle. I don't know what's wrong with this one. Oh, because I have double now. And then you kind of have, yeah. But now because I'm sculpting, it's kind of gonna break that. So the idea, what we're gonna do now is to use not the subdivision, but the multi-resolution, and then just subdivide it, and then we can start sculpting with like, and I can start to pull together edge loops where it makes sense. I don't want to. I want to be careful. I'm still on flat shading on purpose because I still want to see where my loop cuts are. Because if I do like smooth shading, then so for instance here I can very clearly see where these edge loops are, and then I can just protrude them, and then I can just grab these edge loops and get the right shape in there instead of trying to get the shape in there with the edge loops that I have. This is kind of like I like doing it this way because, you know, I can see my edge loops and I can see what I'm doing and see if it makes sense, and just protrude this, you know. Like here, follow this with a little bit. And slowly, and then here I kind of want to flatten it. That didn't work quite as good as I wanted. Smooth it out a little bit. Maybe even grab the pinch brush and just pinch this a little bit better together. That's a little bit dangerous here. And then as you go more into detail, we don't want to options, fast navigate off. Yeah. Such a weird feature to have on by default. And I can very clearly follow this. And it's a little bit of a longer workflow than to if you would like sculpt with dynamic topology or something. Okay, whatever. It makes like now, like this saves me two things, right? It saves me from having to model poly by poly in a super detailed manner, which takes like, or at least for me, it takes a long while, right? I can now like grab this skull, smooth it out, and I don't like that it takes a long time, because now I can just focus on, but now I can sculpt, which I like to do, but with a correct topology, and I can still see the topology, so I'm trying to respect that. The ear is going to be a little bit harder. In the ear, I kind of have to ignore it a little bit more. It's going to be a little bit messier. So I'm just gonna get some ear shapes in here. And slowly I'm starting to get something that is more detailed. And you know, even if I have to make big adjustments, the topology is here, so I just have to, because you even have this tool now where you can just slide relax. So without losing, so for instance, if I would have this, right? If I kind of, let's say here, right, with the ear, I can still like adjust the topology with this new tool without having to change the shape. So I can like pull this all down. It doesn't make sense at the moment. So these tools are here to kind of facilitate this process. Okay, kind of like shut the eyes. Smooth this out. Maybe use a pinch brush. Yeah. And like here you see like this makes this weird curve. Now I can use this tool to kind of even it out, right? And use the smooth tool as well. It still does a proper job. And then we can start to create our character here. And then once you have this base mesh, like you shouldn't be afraid to use it again for other characters, right? I now did it because I don't know, I kind of want to start fresh. Make one again. I can always use it practice. Now I can see here there's a little bit too protruded, as well as the rest of the face. I think like the face should go down a little bit. Have a straighter nose. Like I want to have your eyebrows. Smooth this out a little bit. And I could have done this in the Dyn Topo or the remesh phase in the sculpt phase, and then do the retopologizing. But then I have had to have the retopologizing way more detailed, and that takes more time, in my opinion. So this makes more sense for me. When modeling with, oh yeah, you already asked it. Yeah, I hope I showed you the correct way. Always have to make sure that your object is like centered as well, or like your mirror modifier uses an object in the middle of the object you're trying to model. kind of weird nose here. I want a more stable nose bridge, a less pointy nose. I think with the eye sockets a little bit more in here. The nostrils go a little bit more up here. And like as I said, like this is an experiment somewhat, and for now it's kind of the results are good, so I'm kind of happy with this workflow. Now we could like turn off the weird color here. Put preview on 2, go into shade smooth, because once you start to go into more detail, right? If I now subdivide it once more, then I don't need the because I know that when I draw lines here, oh man, turn off the fast navigate. Why is it on again? Okay. I kind of know that the topology is correct here. And now I can start to really detail this piece here. And it starts to look really good. And then, like, it already, like, it's so different from the model I made here. But I'm gonna save because this hasn't always worked. But you can apply the base, I think it is, and then if you go into edit mode, it will have taken that shape. And I think if you now in edit mode change something, then that will go along. So I can change the geometry. I can't add geometry, I think, anymore. Or I can. Cool, they fixed that. But I don't want to add. So I can like move these more inwards, and then that will have happened here. And then I can, without problems, go into sculpt mode and then just smooth it out again, so that it's at a certain point it looks like he has his eyes properly closed. By just inflating this, I guess. Let's smooth it out again. And this is why I did this way. Kind of want to have a sad expression. I also think this should be a little bit smoother because there we go. You know, and then we can use stylization to get some interesting lines in here. And this already looks way cleaner than doing this in because that's also another once you retopologize, it looks cleaner than doing this with a messy topology that you mostly get from ear. Looks a bit out of place here. You know, I can use scrape tool. A lot of nice results. And then you can use a snake hook tool without fear. Nah, I think the blob tool will do a better job here. And then scrap tool. Maybe the scrape tool even flatten this out a little bit. Okay. Oh, cool. So you want to, your shape should be readable. So you want to avoid like small indents like this. So you want to go for confident lines and here. Whoops. So what went this up there? Cool. How do I fix that? Oh, I know what I did wrong here. So the thing is that I changed geometry here, but I didn't have my X mirror on. So to fix that, Oh, that's cool. Gravity. What? Oh boy, I can turn gravity on. Make some really scary stuff. Okay, but it doesn't fix our issue. Okay, mirror multi-res. I don't know how to do that. Oh, that's an already clicked link. Oh, that's bad. Okay. Oh, there's a tool for that. That doesn't work. Apply base. Okay. I will look up how to do that, and I'll see you next time. It looks better than sculpting, to be honest. Yeah, but I sculpted it. The thing is, I'm now sculpting on clean topology, so if you go into wireframe modes, you'll see that I'm sculpting on what's essentially like a clean, correct facial topology. And that will always look better. Why? Because it's smoother. The edges make more sense, so you don't get all the artifacts. And I don't even have that many verts for this amount of detail, because and this is mostly how people in the industry sculpt. They don't sculpt with remeasure and topo. They have a clean topology or have a good base mesh and then sculpt on that. It only gets tricky if you start sculpting proportions that are way out there or creatures or anything. Then it becomes harder. Anyway, I gotta stop this here because I have to make dinner. Because somebody's hungry. No? Oh. Well, I'm hungry.
There you go.
Well, anyway, I'm gonna do the thing. Poof! I want to thank all my Patreons for supporting me this month. If you want to join the Patreon and become an awesome Sir Knight or a resident of the Bandite Nation. I'm calling it Bandite Nation. I'm becoming a YouTuber. Help me. Go to patreon.com/bandite or follow the link down below. You can also follow me on @gentingent to see what I'm doing. I haven't been too active on Twitter lately, so but you know, if I post something, it's something cool. So, but anyway, thanks for watching. Leave a like and subscribe. It helps out the channel. It helps out me to become a full-time teacher on YouTube. Anyway, I see your faces. No, I love your faces. That's the thing that Philip DeFranco always says. And I'll see you tomorrow. Perhaps, maybe. Who knows? Surprises. Bye-bye. You want to say bye?
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, thanks, Barbara. Thanks for that comment. Really made my day. Bye.